All right, as we move on in the Joel Klatt Show, I want to talk about conferences. It's always a big topic in college football. And even after week one, I think that we can start to talk about conferences, namely the fact that one has really stood out. Really stood out. Now, if Clemson would have looked great, I would have also said, hey, man, the ACC looks better than I anticipated moving into the season. But before the season, I told you right here on this show, I said, watch out for the Pac-12 because they've got the best quarterbacks. I said, I've got 5 Pac-12 teams in my top 15. Guess what? All of a sudden, there's a 6th racing towards that position. There is a bottom line proposition so far in the 2023 season. The Pac-12 is the deepest conference in the country. Period. The Pac-12 is the deepest conference in the country. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And all you have to do is look at the quarterback play. Now, the teams are good. Listen, and this is where everyone's like, oh my goodness, it's the SEC. No. I didn't say best. I didn't say the top end. I said deepest. This is not an argument. This is a fact right now, up to this point. The Pac-12 1 is 13-0 so far. They're undefeated in play. We haven't seen 13-0 ever in college football out of a conference. And the depth of this conference is amazing. Now, can any of these teams beat any of the 3 Big Ten teams? I'm not sure. Can they beat Florida State? Not sure. Can they beat Alabama or Georgia? Not sure. In fact, I don't have any of them like ranked up in that echelon. Maybe Washington or USC, we'll see. But as far as deepest, there's no question that this is the deepest conference. What I love about this conference is the quarterback play. Think of being a defensive coordinator in the Pac-12, and you're having to get ready for these quarterbacks. Now, I just took a stab at ranking up to 8. All right. And I know that there's more guys in here. So Delara at Arizona didn't get thrown in here. I only have so much room on this graphic. But if you're watching on YouTube, you can see it up right now. I'll go over it right now for the audio. Listen to these quarterbacks. Number 1, Caleb Williams. Number 2, Michael Penix Jr. Number 3, Bo Nix. Number 4, Shedeur Sanders. Number 5, guy who didn't even play this week, Cam Rising, but he's won the conference back-to-back years. Number 6, former all-everything recruit DJ Uiagalelei, who now all of a sudden looks like it was Clemson's issue, not his issue. Cam Ward at Washington State, he can go win a game for you. And did anybody see late on Saturday night the young freshman for UCLA come into the game and how good he looked? Dante Moore? I mean, they're rolling 8 deep, 9 deep in this conference. Easily 6 deep. And I throw in, I like Cam Ward. No one knows about Cam Ward. Cam Ward's a really good player. Really good player. And Wisconsin's going to have their hands full with Washington State. Oregon State is a really good team, and now they're getting better, much better than they were a year ago when they were a 10-win team because now they've got a quarterback. DJU looked really good in that opening win against San Jose State. Cam Rising, we know what he can do. And then look at those top 4. Shedeur Sanders just looked like a bona fide top 2-round draft pick. Bo Nix, they just scored 81 points. He's played forever. The experience. Michael Penix, top 10 draft pick, going to be in the Heisman race. Caleb Williams, going to be the top pick. Favorite in the Heisman Trophy. That's ridiculous. This conference, just their quarterback play. Look at the other conferences, and this is not a knock because I like some of these other quarterbacks, but you go into any other conference and it's really quickly, you get to 3 guys and you're like, meh, is it all right? For instance, SEC, Jaden Daniels. Is he the best quarterback in the SEC? I don't know. Connor Wegman. He looks pretty good, I guess. You see where I'm going with that? Wouldn't you take any of the 6 players out of the Pac-12 and put them on any of the SEC teams? I mean, would Joe Milton at Tennessee start over any of the 6 top players in the Pac-12? Maybe. I don't know. Maybe Joe Milton would. Maybe they love Joe Milton, and certainly he could be that guy that is the best in that conference. Look at the Big Ten. JJ McCarthy, Drew Aller, those are pretty good. Okay, who's third? Is it like Tanner Mordecai? Is it Tagovailoa? Right? Like, I don't know. How about the ACC? They've got some players. You can get to 3 in the ACC. Drake May, obviously. Jordan Travis looked great at Florida State. Maybe Riley Leonard. He looks great against Duke. Maybe you can include Klubnik. Okay, so like they've got a little bit of depth, but you get there to 4 and it's like, okay, like we get it. We get it. And then in the Big 12, it's the same thing. Ewers, maybe Dylan Gabriel at OU, Jalen Daniels at Kansas, maybe Will Howard at Kansas State, who doesn't get a lot of love. So you get where I'm going with this. Like you can get into all the other conferences and you're like, yeah, Joel, like your point is very clear. The quarterbacks in the Pac-12 make it the deepest conference in the country. So then the question becomes, can they make the playoff? Well, I didn't say that they were the most elite conference. I don't know what they're going to be at the top end. I'm nervous for that conference because they could just beat themselves totally up. Everyone talks about that. Their schedules are brutal. Go look at the USC schedule. Nobody else in the country, I believe it's 9. I want to say it's 9. I think they play 9 straight consecutive weeks against Power 5 opponents to finish the year. That's absurd. Absurd. You look at the gauntlet that every team is going to have to face. They have to face 2 or 3 of these quarterbacks that I'm talking about. And now all of a sudden, Colorado's one of them. Colorado's now all of a sudden ranked. So here comes this 6th team in the Pac-12 that you're going to have to deal with. Like, geez, you got to deal with Travis Hunter and Shedeur Sanders now all of a sudden? I mean, it's a really fun conference to watch. It's been important up to this point that they've won the really important non-conference games, like Utah, Florida, like Colorado, TCU. Like those are good wins for them, really good wins. And now you're going to have another opportunity this week. So Baylor is going to host Utah. Texas Tech is going to host Oregon. Those are games that the Pac-12 has to win. Colorado's going to host Nebraska. These are now winnable games that if you're able to win some of those games, now you look up at the end of the year and you can make an argument that, okay, like our champion deserves to go to the playoff. And I know that none of us talk about who actually deserves to go to the playoff, but that needs to be the narrative and the sentiment for this conference and basically their last year of existence as we know it. They should get their champion in. Like if you win this conference, like you're a really good team. Really good team. They do round robin style. It's going to be the top 2 seeds in the Pac-12 championship game. So you're going to get one of the top 2 teams in the conference overall that wins the conference. I'm just going to state right now, before week 2 of the season, I believe at this point, based on what they've shown up to this point, September 6th, 2023, that the Pac-12 champ should be in the college football playoff. We'll see if that happens. I'm not sure if it will. Thank you for watching the Joel Klatt Show YouTube channel. And if you liked this clip, make sure to like it and subscribe to the channel. And you can stay up to date on all of my college football coverage.